Hey guys, so welcome back to our channel, the 4x2 Wagon Family. And right now I am waiting for AAA to tow us home. So I am recording this intro video at the very end of our trip. And well, let's just say that I broke my front axle about a mile up the trail. And it was a pretty gnarly day. It was a really fun day. A lot of adventure, a lot of moments. And so hope you guys will stick around for that video. I just want to say thanks to all my current subscribers for supporting me, and all the people watching this video for supporting me. I really appreciate that. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, make sure you guys go down and click on that subscribe button down below and ring that bell to be notified if you guys like videos like this. Anyways, I'm Brian with the 4x2 Wagon Family. Without further ado, let's get started. We are here on the Ice House Road, just north of Sacramento, northeast of Sacramento, about 40 miles up from Mormon Immigrant Trail, where we normally go snow wheeling. But today we're up here going towards the Wentworth Springs Road or campsite, which is another few miles just past Loon Lake exit. So once you get to the road here, there's basically, this is where the snow starts, right off the road. And they built a big berm, looks like right here. So just to kind of keep all the riffraffs out of the trail. Whoa, a little slippery here. So we got a pretty good crew today. We got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 Jeeps and a TRD Pro 4Runner. A few guys have never been up in this area, so I hope they will enjoy the trail and our company. All right, so we are entering the Wentworth Spring Road, going towards the campground. And this is the first section. I'm gonna do my best here to document this for you guys. So we'll see how well I do here. Trying to drive with one hand and hold the camera.
Oh, this is the hill, right?
Yeah.
This is where we turned around.
Mm-hmm. All right, yeah, I think we're gonna have to maybe winch up, maybe off of this right here.
You got a tree saver?
Yeah.
Oh, Dada. Hey.
Are you recording?
Yes.
Okay.
I think Lily is.
You probably shit your pants a little bit?
Yeah, I'd be shitting my pants. Uh-oh.
Hold on, bud. Yeah, so this section right here is, not too difficult, but other than this log being laying across the road, it's a pretty good sized log, and it's at such an angle that it just wants to, once you get on that log, it wants to feed you down into that big log that's laying down right in front of you, as you can see in front of the Jeep. But there's also a pretty steep ravine down below with the creek. So everything kind of feeds you in that direction. So if you don't hug that passenger side, that's what's going to happen. And so so we're going to try and snatch him, or try tying a rope around this big tree where I'm at right there, try to pull him this way. But at the same time, as he gets that front tire over, the entire back end is going to swing out to the driver's side, right into that big tree where I'm standing on. There's another tree right behind that too. So there's a couple logs that's kind of in the way. It's a little bit tricky if you get into this situation, as you'll see here and on next couple trucks.
So do you know how to do all that stuff too, or do you just watch?
I just watch. I haven't done video.
I just like back up drive.
Yeah, me too.
And I hold the camera.
Yeah, basically. Although we're gonna try to get you a Jeep so that I can do this too.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
We have another car that could do some stuff too. So sometimes when we drive too, if there's like more of us, I'll drive.
So watch right here as he gives a little bit of gas. He's on the rear tires on a log. He's gonna slide to the driver's side. Right there, see that? Just a little bit. I think he's a little scared that he's gonna mess up his door and his quarter panel. But yeah.
Why don't you just cut that log so nobody bangs up their car?
chainsaw.
I think just cut it. Yeah, just cut the corner off.
Okay, so watch as he gets on top of this log here. As he goes over it,
wait.
it just slides. You see that?
That's
So it's just a real
sketchy.
funky angle, and the log is slippery at this point. So this is where, lowering your air down even more than, around 5
totally
psi would be ideal. And plus having your lockers will definitely help. Bump it, bump it. Get back up.
Back up a little bit and then bump forward.
Is that mine calling?
No,
Or
that's
yours?
mine.
No, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so every time you do a bump, back up, forward to the
Yeah. Hey, you want me to disengage mine?
What's that?
You want me to?
Oh, yeah, that's one.
Okay.
Your jacket is so cute. Oh my gosh, we're kind of matching.
Right?
All right, so we had to get a little creative here. We actually ended up doing a double winch line, one in the front, one in the back. His rear end of his Jeep was so far into the logs sitting in front of his truck that if he was to go forward, he was gonna, tuna can open his door panels. So we used that same winch line off that tree with a snatch block to kind of hold him there, and then another line off his rear end. So simultaneously, we both tugged slowly. We also had him spin his tires as we were pulling him sideways, his rear end out towards the back on the trail. And by spinning his tires, it just made that winching process much easier. Rather than if he was just sit still, you're gonna rip the tire off the rims, especially at that angle. So lesson learned from my previous experience. If you're gonna do this kind of winching, especially pulling sideways to spin that tire, that will give some, alleviate some of the resistance on the ground. So that really does help. So here we go.
Oh shit. Should I be in that driver's seat? Oh yes.
He's getting straightened
Back. Dada, we're moving. Oh, but I don't know how to drive that.
That's textbook.
Good job. Yep.
So we come up to another obstacle here. There's a few logs on the ground. We thought about cutting it, but then we thought, okay, let's just have one of us go over it. So I hugged the passenger side as high as I could. You can see the angle of that tree. And as I came over, I pulled hard to the driver's side to go with the fall line. And that worked out pretty good. We saved us about half an hour worth of cutting logs and and whatnot.
Huh.
All right, well, I thought I was going to show you guys a little more about the trail, but instead, we're having a lot more trying to get over these obstacles.
Yeah, you're gonna have to back up. Back up, come forward. There you go. Way more. Yeah.
Hold on, just wait a second. I just want to kick a little bit more snow into this.
Feel that? There you go. Back up a little more.
Nice. Oh, you almost had.
You're getting 2 feet on that. You're gonna have to bump it a little harder. Back up, going on the right.
Turn driver and back up a little bit more. And this time aim to the right just a little bit. Just follow my tracks. High.
There you go.
That's good. Perfect. Well,
Driver. The other way. Driver. The other one. Left.
Okay, straighten it out. Straight, just roll it. You're fine. But just be prepared. Listen, you don't want to hit that tree with your tire like this. So when you're gonna. I'll grab over. Boy, at this point, the log's exposed. I should just cut the log off.
There you go.
Yeah, that's
it.
the
Driver,
driver.
Driver.
Yeah.
Log side.
Yeah.
You know, we can pull that log out of the way.
Okay, stand back, Isa. Lynn, Isa, stand back. All right, go ahead, Matt. There you go. Okay, stop. Driver. There you go. Nice. Okay.
Just go straight over it. You can make it. Love it. Don't stop. Rule. Keep going. Go.
Nice job. I just broke my CV joint on this big ass rut right here. I was trying to snatch block my way over this big log and a big pile of ice, and just too much force from the winch just snapped my U-joint. So now we gotta turn around and get back, and hopefully I don't fuck up any more of my front end. So we're gonna call out here very slowly. All right, so there's the damage. Really unfortunate.
So there's other families.
All right, well, this adventure today turned out to be a little bit different than what I expected.
No, not in the picture, babe. Come here.
And so, you know, we got a lot of wheeling still ahead of us. We're trying to actually go back to where we came from, back on the road. You know, obviously I can't go any further, and we're not gonna do anything crazy, but as you guys saw from my earlier photo and video, there's still some gnarly sections that we gotta get through. So this is gonna be a really good test to see whether or not my rear Eaton True Track is gonna get me out of there without being tugged. So this is gonna be a good test. So, you know, I guess there's some benefits to this video. Again, I really want to show you guys this particular trail, but it turned out to be a different video. So, well, hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video, watching me trying to get out of here with just the rear wheel drive and the Eaton True Track. All right, so here we go. So you guys can probably hear that popping sound. I got my GoPro mounted to my winch, and yeah, so I've never broken an axle before, you know, on the trail, and being a kind of new to this Jeep world, I've owned it for about a year now and been off-roading quite a bit, and I've never broken an axle on a, you know, like this particular type of axle on a trail, and so I'm not really familiar with exactly what kind of damage that's gonna do if I keep driving the way it is. So I will assess that, you know, later on when I get home. I guess I'll have to tear that differential cover off and see if I screwed up my new gearing and plus my front lockers. But right now, all this popping and cracking is is the tabs. As the as the U-joint, when the U-joint broke, now I've got my CV the tab and my axle tab turning together for the most part, but again it's all broken and they're binding up on each other, and that's what that popping sound is. It sounds scary if this is your first time ever experiencing this, because you're just trying to minimize any further damage as much as possible. So right now my rear true track, so to get yourself out of the trail in this scenario, I had to disengage my four-wheel drive. And I'm kind of glad that actually my front axle broke as opposed to my rear, because I'm not sure how I would drive myself out of here. I suppose I can put it in four-wheel drive, but then again, you're just adding probably more stress on the rear differential. I mean, gosh, I don't know. So I'm gonna call my buddy, my lifeline friend. He's the Jeep expert, and kind of talk to him more about this scenario, so that when this happens in the future, I'll have a better idea of what to expect, things that I should do and should not do. So I'm gonna reach out to him later on this week. But right now, I'm just trying to get through this trail that I just came from, and there are some gnarly sections. There's a lot of articulations going on that it's hard to see on the GoPro. But yeah, it's pretty gnarly. So, but I gotta tell you, being in two-wheel drive and getting out of here so far has been, extremely surprising, and stoked that my Eaton True Track is working better than I think I've expected. I did a couple of videos about my Eaton True Track, and I understand the capability, but being out here, just in my rear-wheel drive at this point, I'm out of my four-wheel drive system and just driving a two-wheel drive. It's just killing it. So now that we're on a little flatter surface, you can really hear that clanking sound. And I tell you what, my gut was just tight the entire way back until until we got to the road and stopped where we got cell phone signal to call AAA. But this was not a good feeling whatsoever. Okay, so now that we finally reached the main road here, I was extremely relieved for the most part, because I knew this part right here was smooth for about a mile out to the main road that we came from. So yeah, it was a much relief. But I tell you what, just want to share with you guys what it sounds like if you would break your axle and trying to get off the trail. So I hope that some of this information was helpful for you guys. And like I said, in this case, the front axle broke, and I was able to get out without any problems. But ideally, next time, I'm going to be definitely carrying an extra axle with me. Now that this broke, I bought a couple extra. So I'm going to be carrying that with me on the trail, so this won't happen again or stop us from, continuing our trip. So that's a real bummer part, was that we had this trip planned, a really fun trip planned, and came to a quick halt because of, a $300 part.